Welcome inside our New York studios. Brent Stover, Kevin Carter, and Beanie Wells. On Saturday, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the defending national champs, the #1 team in the land, went on the road against a challenging 17th-ranked Illinois Fighting Illini group. Ohio State, with that dominant defense, had yet to give up double digits in any game in points this year. 3-0 early on. They got the lead, and they create another one. Luke Altmaier tips and overthrows over the middle there, picked off by the Buckeyes. They've got a 10-0 lead. They would get a touchdown. Khalil Valentine, the handoff, coughs it up. Another turnover, and the Ohio State Buckeyes were in business again.
Yeah, ensuing Ohio State drive, Julian Sayin slings it out to Bo Jackson, who takes it 17 yards to the house. Buckeyes lead 20-0. Still in the third and goal. OSU leading now 20-10. C.J. Donaldson barrels his way in from 2 yards out. Buckeyes lead 27-10.
And 2nd and 10, Illinois down 17. Altmaier back to pass, gets stripped and loses the ball on their third turnover for the day on the ensuing drive. Jeremiah Smith is found in the back of the end zone by Sam right there for the touchdown. The Buckeyes go on to win 34-16 and win the Illibuck Trophy.
Yeah, and for the first time this year, they do give up double-digit points, 16, but it comes in a game where they force the 3 turnovers that we just showed you right there. Altmaier threw a pick, threw for 248, but it comes in a loss. Julian Sayin was 80% on the year. He goes 19-27, Beanie for 166 and 2 touchdowns. Good all-around road victory. The Buckeyes now 6-0, 3-0 in the Big Ten.
You got to love what you've been seeing from Ohio State, especially on the defensive side. I mean, the way they've been stifling offenses in the pass game and in the rush game has been nothing short of amazing. Today, they did indeed get a scare. Luke Altmaier threw for 248 yards. This is only the second time all season in which Ohio State has let a team come in and throw for over 200 yards on them. On the offensive end, obviously you love Julian Sayin and him being so efficient, but I got to split hairs here. I got to go into my bag, not just as a Buckeye fan, a Buckeye alum, but just as a football guy. I want to see him push the ball downfield on a more consistent basis. You know, I'm like that kid. You know, Kevin, when you're growing up and your mom bakes that cake and you want that cake before dessert and she's making you wait.
Right.
You got to eat all your vegetables before you get dessert. Well, I want my dessert now with Julian Sayin. I want him to push the ball downfield consistently. I want to see those big plays. Let's see it early.
He's speaking your language.
Speaking like an offensive guy next to me, just wants the offensive explosion. Be patient. I love the pedestrian numbers from your young quarterback. He's on a short list of quarterbacks, first-year quarterbacks, who's playing out of his mind. Keep him out of harm's way, because every time you throw a pick, it takes a little bit of that confidence away. Man, you don't want to disturb how poised, how confident he is in the pocket. And he's got weapons, okay? Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, they just got to be patient. The numbers will come. I know it's only 166 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, but no interceptions. Look at the efficiency of this young man. And when you've got C.J. Donaldson and Bo Jackson in the backfield and a defense is playing this well, continue to keep your quarterback out of harm's way. Beanie, we don't need more.
I get greedy.
We don't need more out of this young man, but just a nice, strong win over a quality team. And Ohio State, the Ohio State University continues to impress. I mean, in every facet. My big concern coming into the season was, how are you going to replace guys that are playing on Sunday up front? Okay, that's a tall order. But, man, Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, those guys up front, they are balling, and they are keeping the pace. They're keeping the flow of everything that the opposing offense is doing. They're keeping it to a minimum. They're giving themselves a chance. They're running the ball effectively, and the quarterback is efficient. What more could you ask for?
Well, clearly that guy's got split hairs over there. He's asking for more. You're kind of preaching the patience.
Right.
Angle of it right here. Only 47 rushing yards for Illinois. Another great number for an Ohio State defense that has just been unbelievable. Best defense in the country through the first half of the season. But I want to go back, Beanie, and help you bang the drum for Bo Jackson, because since week 1, and Donaldson's a nice running back. You have 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, he's good when they get in there tight. But since day 1, you've said Bo Jackson needs to be the guy. What is it about Bo Jackson that you saw early on that you said, yeah, that's the man that needs to get most of the touches?
He's a special, special player. You know, every now and then you have a young running back come along that you know can make an impact right away. And I saw that right away with Bo Jackson. I saw it in training camp. I saw it in the spring. And then I saw him in high school. You know, he has the ability to hit the home run, but also make you miss, kind of be that slasher on a consistent basis, getting you those 5, those 10, those 15-yard gains. And he can help you in the pass game. And I think we saw that today. And when you got a player like that, you want to get him involved early and often, because sometimes as a young player, when you're not involved and you're waiting your turn, you kind of get out of it mentally. And that's the last thing I want for a player as talented as him to get out of it mentally. Fortunately enough, the running back coach, Carlos Loughlin, there at Ohio State, loves Bo Jackson. He's going to give him every opportunity to be the guy down the stretch.
All right, let's talk about the Buckeyes going forward, the back half of the schedule. Obviously, we are 6 games in. They have got nothing but perfection on their resume to this point at 6-0. It'll be a bye week, then on the road against the Wisconsin Badgers on CBS, home against Penn State, at Purdue, home against UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan. This, to me, and I don't want to take anything away, because UCLA did get an amazing win last week, but let's be really honest. This should simply just come down to the Michigan game, right? Is that how you see it, Kevin?
In theory, it should come down to that. But look, nothing can be taken for granted when you're talking about conference play, okay? Looking at this schedule, there is an absolute gauntlet if you're in the SEC or the Big Ten for that matter. And looking at those games, there are no slouches on their schedule, okay? I mean, you're looking at Penn State. You're looking at UCLA, which, you know, at the beginning of the season, this is a different UCLA team with a supercharged Nico Iamaleava. This is a different schedule down the stretch. Look, it matters where you play, it matters when you play, but most importantly, it matters how you play. So game day execution is still going to be a thing that the Ohio State Buckeyes, or any team for that matter, has to do on a consistent basis. This is why we talk about conference play. This is why we talk about that arduous march through the season, because you got to get your best performance on display every weekend, because everyone has a big bullseye pointed right on the Buckeyes, because they're the defending champs, and right now there's nobody playing better in the land.
Casey, I got to agree with you. We talked about it last night a little bit. Conference play is something different. You can't take anybody for granted. When we saw it last night with Colorado State and Fresno, was it Fresno State?
Fresno State,
you know, they went out and played completely different how they looked all season long, and we're watching it right now with UNLV and Air Force. You know, there's so many great games in conference play. Teams just get up for each other differently. When you know it's somebody you're going against on a regular basis that you have to face off with every year,
bad blood.
It's bad blood. It's bad blood taste in your mouth, no doubt about it. And we're going to witness that in the Big Ten.
What about the Fighting Illini? They've lost twice now, but Altmaier is still one of the best quarterbacks in the land. Brett Bielema knows what he's doing. He kept these guys in the game, even though Ohio State had started to put some distance between themselves and the Illini. Do you feel good about Illinois going forward?
Feel good about Illinois. I mean, the one thing that I will say about the Illini is that looking at how their offensive line is performing and what we thought they would do coming into the season. I mean, Aiden Laughley, Caden Fagan, you've got 2 capable running backs there, and you've got an offensive line that was cited as a preseason Joe Moore award, which goes to the best offensive line in football. And so far, they have not been playing up to that standard. That's where this team has not been quite as good. Luke Altmaier has been as good as advertised. I mean, he had to do way too much today against a really talented Buckeyes defense. But, you know, can't count anybody out in conference play down the stretch, though. But Illinois is definitely a quality team.
Yeah, they're a quality football team. Obviously, they had that tough loss in the early part of the year to Indiana and Ohio State now. But, you know, through the rest of the way, I mean, they can still make some noise in the Big Ten and, you know, hopefully be one of those 3rd teams, possibly 4th team, trying to get an opportunity to get into the college football playoff.
All right, on the road for them at Washington coming up after a bye week. That is it for us for now on a 34-16 Ohio State win in Champaign.